Tasmania's salmon industry, the fishy business behind Australia's favorite seafood. Tasmania, the island state of Australia, is famous for its stunning landscapes, fresh air, and salmon. Yes, salmon. The state's salmon industry is a multi-billion-dollar business, supplying Australia and the world with this delicious pink fish. But behind the mouth-watering sashimi and crispy skin fillets lies a fascinating and sometimes controversial industry. Tasmanian salmon farming is a big deal. The waters surrounding the island provide the perfect cold, clean environment for Atlantic salmon, a species that isn't even native to Australia. These salmon were originally imported from the Northern Hemisphere and, over the years, have become one of Tasmania's biggest economic drivers. Types of salmon farms. Where the magic happens. Salmon farming in Tasmania happens in two main ways: sea-based farming and land-based hatcheries. Sea-based farms are the ones you probably imagine when thinking about salmon farming. Massive floating pens out in the ocean, packed with fish that swim in circles all day like they're training for the Salmon Olympics. These pens are strategically placed in sheltered bays and estuaries where the water is cool and has strong currents to keep things fresh. Some of the biggest farming areas include Macquarie Harbour, the Huon River, and the D'Entrecasteaux Channel. Then there are land-based hatcheries. Before salmon get to the ocean, they start their lives in these freshwater tanks. It's kind of like a baby fish daycare, except instead of nap time, they're constantly fed high-protein meals to grow big and strong before moving out to the open water. The demand, Australians can't get enough of it. Tasmanian salmon is a hot commodity. Australians love their seafood, and salmon is the most popular choice. You'll find it everywhere, from fancy restaurants serving it raw in sushi rolls to local supermarkets selling it in vacuum-sealed packs with "just add seasoning" instructions. Beyond Australia, Tasmanian salmon is exported to countries like China, Japan, and the United States. There's something about saying, "This fish comes from the clean, pure waters of Tasmania," that makes international buyers drool. Of course, they don't mention the occasional environmental issues that pop up, but we'll get to that later. What happens to the fish? The journey from farm to fork. Once the salmon reach the perfect size, big enough to make an Instagram-worthy fillet, but not so big that they start getting ideas about world domination, it's time for harvesting. This is where things get intense. The fish are carefully transported to processing facilities where they are stunned, yes, stunned, not in the "wow, I can't believe I'm being harvested today" kind of way, but the humane electrical zap kind. After this, they are filleted, smoked, frozen, or turned into a variety of products. Smoked salmon is a breakfast favorite, often seen perched on top of a piece of sourdough toast with avocado, like it's living the ultimate influencer lifestyle. Some salmon even go into pet food because apparently fancy cats also deserve premium seafood. Recent problems. When things get a little fishy, the salmon industry in Tasmania hasn't always been smooth sailing. In fact, it's been in hot water. One of the biggest issues has been environmental concerns. Critics argue that salmon farms cause pollution with fish waste and excess feed, creating problems for local marine ecosystems. Some farms have been accused of overcrowding their fish, leading to disease outbreaks and higher use of antibiotics, something that doesn't exactly make customers feel great about their sushi rolls. Macquarie Harbour, one of the major farming areas, has been particularly controversial. It's a beautiful, isolated part of Tasmania, but scientists have warned that over-farming there has led to lower oxygen levels in the water. Imagine being stuck in a packed elevator with no air conditioning. That's what some salmon have been dealing with. Then, there's the whole predator problem. Seals see salmon farms as an all-you-can-eat buffet, and they're not afraid to crash the party. To keep seals away, farmers have used underwater explosives and nets, but that has led to backlash from environmental groups. After all, people love seals almost as much as they love salmon, just in a different way. Government support. Who's got the salmon's back? The Tasmanian government knows the salmon industry is a major moneymaker, so they're pretty invested in keeping it afloat. They provide support in various ways, including research funding, environmental regulations, and marketing efforts to keep Tasmanian salmon looking like the premium product that it is. That being said, balancing economic benefits with environmental concerns has been tricky. Some government bodies have been criticized for being too friendly with big salmon companies, leading to debates about whether regulations are strict enough. It's a classic case of money versus nature, and let's be honest, that fight never ends quietly. How they maintain quality and standard salmon farming in Tasmania has to meet strict quality standards to keep customers happy. Farmers monitor water quality, fish health, and feed composition to ensure that the final product is as delicious as possible. Most salmon farms follow certification programs like the Aquaculture Stewardship Council, which makes sure they're not completely wrecking the environment in the process. But of course, not everyone agrees on what's sustainable, so the debate continues. Final thoughts. The future of Tasmanian salmon, despite its challenges, Tasmania's salmon industry isn't going anywhere. Demand keeps growing, and while the industry will need to find better ways to balance profits with environmental responsibility, it's still one of Australia's biggest seafood success stories. So next time you take a bite of Tasmanian salmon, just remember, behind that tasty fillet is a world of high-stakes fish farming, environmental debates, and a few very persistent seals.